They warned us on my very first day of training. Whatever happens on this ship, the guest smiles and the truth stays below deck. For 7 years, I worked behind that smile on cruise ships, talking to thousands of passengers every week. Cabin services, guest relations, deck operations. My job was simple. Keep you happy and keep you spending. Never say what was really going on. Cruise lines aren't scared of storms or bad reviews. They're scared of people like me once we leave, because we know which cabins are actually quiet, which free perks hide in fine print, how the casino plays your psychology, and which little traps in your cabin quietly drain your wallet. I don't work on ships anymore. Today I'm breaking the only rule that really mattered on board. Stay silent. I'm about to share 9 secrets that never make it into brochures. Things crew whisper about in the staff bar but can't say to your face. Some will save you money. Some could ruin your vacation if you ignore them. And the 9th has already cost thousands of passengers thousands of dollars. Whether this is your first cruise or your 20th, after this you'll never look at a ship the same way again. Let's begin. The first secret is that innocent-looking minibar in your cabin. You walk in on embarkation day, drop your bags, step out onto the balcony, then open that little fridge. There's a cold soda, maybe a small whiskey bottle, maybe chocolate. And if you bought a drink package, your brain goes, perfect, this is included. It almost never is. On most ships, that minibar is one of the quietest moneymakers on board. Everything inside is charged separately, even if you paid hundreds of dollars for unlimited drinks. The package usually covers bars, restaurants, sometimes room service. Not the minibar. I watched this play out hundreds of times. Passengers grabbed a couple of Cokes and a candy bar, assuming their package would cover it. Then on the last night, they'd get a bill with an extra $30 or $40. They'd storm down to guest services furious, and we'd gently point to the tiny print on page 6 of the terms. Technically, we weren't lying, but we were absolutely counting on you not reading. Here's what crew quietly know and never say out loud. That minibar is not stocked randomly. The items are chosen because they look like they belong to your package. The same brand of soda you've been drinking by the pool, familiar snacks, mini liquor bottles that match what's in the bars. It's all designed to blur the line between included and extra. You're relaxed, you're unpacking, you're in vacation mode. You don't want to think about nickel and diming, so you grab, and the cruise line smiles. If you want to play this smart, pretend the minibar doesn't exist. Call room service and ask what's included. Order from a bar. Grab drinks at the buffet and keep them in your cabin. All of that is usually covered if you have a package. And if you're tempted, at least read the price list tucked somewhere near the TV. You'll be shocked how different those prices are from everywhere else on the ship. Now for another secret most passengers never realize. The moment you step on board, the ship starts watching you. Your cruise card or wristband isn't just a room key and payment method. It's a tracking device. Every time you tap it for a drink, enter your cabin, swipe into a show, or even walk past certain sensors, the system logs it. Where you are, what you buy, how often you spend. Officially, it's for safety and crowd management. And yes, part of it is. If there's an emergency, they can see who hasn't checked in at the muster station. But that same data also builds a profile on you. The casino can see if you're a steady player. The restaurants know whether you always order steak or always ask for vegetarian. The bars know your go-to drink. The onboard app, magically, recommends events and offers you're likely to say yes to. Those offers are rarely random kindness. They're based on your value. Spend time near the spa and you get massage promos. Hit the casino regularly and you see drink upgrades, free play, and VIP invitations. The system doesn't care whether you win or lose one night. It cares how much you bet over time. Even small $5 hands played for hours can flag you as valuable, while someone who blows 500 once and vanishes barely registers. If you want perks, be visible and consistent. Show up, be polite, use your card, and let the system see you. Next secret. Cruise ship slots are not Vegas slots. On land, especially in places like Nevada, casinos are heavily regulated. Machines are required to return a certain percentage of wagers to players, and big resorts keep those numbers relatively high because competition is fierce. Once your ship hits international waters, those rules loosen. Cruise lines can tighten their machines significantly. That doesn't mean nobody wins. It just means the math is colder over time. If you're betting $1,000 over the course of a cruise, a land-based machine might expect to keep 60 or 70 of it. A cruise ship machine might be set to keep 150 or more. Same spins, same bets, very different long-term outcome. If you're going to gamble, move away from the flashing slot jungle and sit at a table. Blackjack played with basic strategy, craps, and some poker games all give you a far better shot. The house still has the edge, but it's measured in tiny percentages, not in brutal double digits. The bonus? Table games move slower. Your money lasts longer. You earn the same or better comps, and you buy more actual entertainment time instead of watching your bankroll evaporate in 30 minutes of max bet spins. Another secret: there are free and almost free services on board that 99% of passengers never touch, simply because nobody shouts about them. Room service breakfast is the perfect example. On many ships, if you stick to basics, coffee, tea, pastries, fruit, juice, it's included. You can have breakfast delivered to your balcony every morning, instead of fighting at the buffet. But most people assume room service is expensive and never even look at the order card. Embarkation day is another gold mine. While everyone else is sprinting to the buffet or queuing for the pool, the spa is often open for free tours and thermal suite previews. Saunas, steam rooms, heated loungers, complimentary for a few hours because they hope you'll buy a pass later. You don't have to. You can just enjoy it once and walk away. Even the main dining room is underused. Many passengers think it's dinner only, but on a lot of sailings it quietly opens for lunch with table service and freshly cooked meals, and it's usually half empty. Check the daily schedule or app and you can skip the buffet chaos completely. Those invite-only events you hear about, galley tours, bridge talks, small deck parties, also aren't always full. On day 2, politely ask guest services if there are any learn about cruising or behind-the-scenes events with space. When there is, they'd rather give the spots to engaged guests than leave them empty. Now we move into the more uncomfortable stuff. Let's talk about your cabin safe. You're told to put your passport, cash, and jewelry inside and relax, and you should use it, but with your eyes open. Many cabin safes start with generic default codes like 0000 or 1234. You're supposed to change them, but not everyone does. Others forget their code, call guest services, and a supervisor opens the safe using a master override. On older ships, some safes are more mounted than truly bolted into the structure. With the right tools and the wrong intentions, someone could theoretically carry the whole unit out. Is theft common? No. Most crew are brutally hard-working people there to support families back home, and they'd never risk their contract over your watch. But when something does go missing, the ship's first instinct is to protect its image. Most cases get handled quietly. Please double-check your bags. File a claim with insurance. We'll investigate. So protect yourself. Change the code the moment you arrive, and avoid anything obvious like your birth year. Photograph your valuables before you pack, jewelry, bags, devices, so you have proof if you need to claim. Don't leave wads of cash or expensive gadgets scattered on the desk. Your room steward isn't the enemy, but there's no reason to create temptation or confusion. And if you're traveling with something truly high value, ask at guest services whether they have a main safe. It's less convenient than your cabin, but far more secure. Here's a secret that isn't about money at all: the invisible wall between passengers and crew. You see smiling faces bringing drinks, cleaning cabins, guiding you to your table. It feels warm, relaxed, even friendly. What you don't see is the world below deck. Tiny shared cabins with bunk beds and no windows. 10 to 12-hour shifts, 6 or 7 days a week, for months without a real day off. Separate dining halls with basic food, crew bars and lounges squeezed into leftover spaces. Strict rules about how we're supposed to interact with you. We can chat, but not linger. We can be friendly, but not get too personal. Relationships are technically forbidden, and, if discovered, can get someone fired or sent home early. I'm not telling you this to ruin your vacation. I'm telling you so that when your steward remembers your name on night 6, or your waiter appears with your favorite drink before you even order, you understand what that really is. Professionalism under pressure, not effortless luxury. The best thing you can do is treat crew like human beings. Learn their names, look them in the eye, say thank you, and if you can, tip in cash, not just through the automatic service charge, but directly, early in the cruise. A small bill and a sincere, "I really appreciate what you do," on day one, changes the entire dynamic. Suddenly, you're not just cabin 10234. You're the kind guest they'll quietly go the extra mile for. Another thing passengers misunderstand is balcony privacy. You pay extra for that little slice of ocean. Morning coffee with waves, sunset drinks with your partner, and it feels like your own world. It isn't. Dividers between balconies usually leave gaps, sound travels easily, and if you lean out even slightly, you can often see straight into the next cabin. Above you are other decks, below you lifeboats or crew walkways. More than once during drills I saw passengers suddenly freeze when they realized crew a few decks down had a perfect view of more than they meant to share. So treat your balcony as a semi-public space. Enjoy it, but keep anything you wouldn't do in front of strangers inside the cabin. And never hang clothes or towels on the rail. Wind at sea is wild, and a single gust can send your laundry into the ocean or onto a lifeboat roof. Inside the cabin, there's a secret language stewards wish every guest understood. Towels on the floor mean, "Replace this." Towels hanging up mean, "I'll reuse this one." It's simple, but it saves time and confusion. If you fold a used towel neatly and hang it back up, your steward has to guess. Use the door signs too. If you're heading out, flip it to make up room. If you're sleeping in, use Do Not Disturb, but take it off once you're ready. You'll get cleaner service, and your steward won't have to knock 3 times a day hoping to catch you. Now for the 9th secret, the one that's already costing people real money. Some cruise lines are quietly tightening their rules about mobility devices. On certain sailings and brands, if you use a wheelchair or large scooter, and you haven't booked an accessible cabin or declared it in advance, you can be denied boarding at the terminal. No refund, no second chance. The official language is all about safety and evacuation procedures, and those are real concerns. Ships need to know how many people will need assistance and where they're located. But for passengers who used to bring a foldable chair and stash it in a regular cabin, this shift has been brutal. I've watched people arrive at the port beaming with excitement after months of saving, only to be pulled aside because they didn't tick the right box or book the right category. Suddenly, that dream vacation turns into a tearful conversation at the check-in desk. So if you or anyone you love travels with any mobility aid, wheelchair, scooter, even a walker, do not leave it as a last-minute detail. Declare it when you book. Call the line ahead of time. Ask specifically whether you need an accessible cabin for your device. It might cost a bit more or require booking earlier, but it's nothing compared to the heartbreak of being turned away at the gangway. So there you have it. 9 secrets from someone who lived behind the curtain. From the minibar trap to passenger tracking. From casino odds to hidden free perks. From cabin safes to the crew-passenger divide. From balcony privacy and towel codes to mobility rules that can end your trip before it starts. None of this is about gaming the system. It's about walking on board with your eyes open. Cruising should be about freedom, discovery, and waking up in new places, not surprise fees and unnecessary stress. You worked hard for this vacation. You deserve to actually enjoy it. If this opened your eyes, tell me in the comments which secret shocked you most, and subscribe so you don't miss the next round of insider tips. After everything I've just revealed, you might wonder if crew members even like cruising. The honest answer is yes. There is nothing like watching the sun rise over an empty ocean, laughing with friends from 10 different countries, or seeing a nervous first-time cruiser step off glowing with happiness. The passengers who learned our names said thank you and treated us like humans. We remembered you. So cruise smart, cruise kindly, and may your next voyage be your best one yet.